Have you ever walked through an airport scanner and felt that weird chill, like the machine knows something about you that even you don't fully understand? Like maybe you forgot something in your bag, or maybe the scanner will pick up something so random that even the officers themselves might do a double take. Because honestly, in 2026, these scanners are detecting things that most travelers don't even realize can trigger an alert. And that's exactly where this whole new wave of airport security gets kind of wild. Because while people assume scanners only catch knives or metal weapons, the truth is way stranger, almost unbelievable, and honestly a little unsettling. Because the moment you step onto that platform, the scanner isn't looking for shapes like we do with our eyes. It's analyzing densities, materials, moisture, heat signatures, pressure points, and sometimes even behavioral anomalies like how you shift your weight or how your clothes reflect waves back at the sensors. And the craziest part is that some of the items getting flagged today are things you'd never expect. Harmless stuff really, and travelers aren't ready for that at all. Especially because the new 2026 systems aren't just X-rays anymore. They're AI-driven 3D computed tomography scanners, the kind that rotate around your bag and generate layers so detailed that even a sealed water bottle shows its chemical composition. Like the scanner doesn't just see a bottle, it sees the type of liquid inside based on just how organic or non-organic it appears in the density field. And that means even bottled drinks you grabbed at the airport might suddenly get flagged if the scanner thinks the density looks like something else, something sketchy. And this isn't science fiction. It's literally happening right now because airports worldwide are rolling out these machines that pick up stuff like powders, lotions, gels, batteries, ceramic objects, organic clumps, and weirdly shaped electronics. And sometimes there are tripping alarms even when everything is technically allowed. Like people carry protein powder or baby formula or tightly rolled clothes, and boom, the scanner lights up, and the officers come over because the density map looks abnormal. A word that basically means your stuff doesn't look the way the machine expects it to look. But then here's where it gets even more confusing. Full-body scanners in 2026 can now pick up moisture trapped between layers of clothing. So if you ran to the terminal and broke a sweat, or your shirt got damp from washing your hands or from the humidity outside, the scanner might interpret the wet spot as a foreign object stuck to your skin, because moisture disrupts the wave reflection and forms a blob on the digital body map. And the officer has to pat you down for something that isn't even there. And people think this stuff is random, but it's not. It's just that the tech is still evolving and it's extremely sensitive, almost too sensitive sometimes, like it's catching ghost objects. And meanwhile, some genuinely risky items still pass through in airports that haven't upgraded the tech yet. So you have this odd situation where one airport treats your bag like a science experiment and another airport barely blinks, but passengers think the rules are universal, which they aren't at all, because scanner quality varies massively. And that inconsistency is exactly why weird items keep getting flagged. And to make things more confusing, there's also new AI behavior software that doesn't even look at what you're carrying, but how you're moving. And if your posture is off, or you pause too long, or you look confused or stressed, the system can mark you for secondary. And travelers swear this feels like a lie detector, even though it's technically just pattern analysis. But the problem is that humans are terrible at looking normal in an airport. Everyone's stressed, everyone's tired, and the AI doesn't always account for that. So it flags normal behavior as suspicious, and then officers pull you aside. And while all of this is happening, the scanner is also picking up some truly bizarre things people never thought could trigger alerts, like clothes with metallic thread woven into the fabric, or hair gel that's too dense, or lotions with ingredients that mimic explosive compounds on the density map, or even food items like cheese, chocolate blocks, jars of spices, dense makeup compacts, clay-based skincare, and deodorant sticks, because the scanner sees them as solid organic blocks with unclear internal structures, and the algorithm freaks out a little, and the passengers have no idea why their snack or skincare caused a bag search. And then there's the wildest part of all. Sometimes the scanner flags nothing dangerous at all, but instead senses something unusual, like heat spots on the body from recent physical activity, or micro movements that suggest nervousness or tension in how you stand still, and the machine highlights those spots in bright yellow. And even the officers don't always know why. They just know protocol tells them to check, and that's why travelers walk out confused, laughing, embarrassed, or annoyed. But the truth is, the tech is doing what it's built for, spotting anything that doesn't follow the expected pattern. And in 2026, those patterns are becoming more complex than ever, because scanners are learning from global data and adjusting in real time. So something that wasn't suspicious last week might suddenly be suspicious this week. And people don't know that airport AI updates constantly, sometimes daily, which means the rules are shifting faster than the public realizes. And that's why airports are flagging totally normal items while missing others. And honestly, it's not even the officer's fault, because they're just responding to what the machine tells them. And sometimes the machine picks up signals that aren't even items, like sweat, body heat, fabric folds, or dense stitching. And this creates this weird, hyper-vigilant environment where travelers feel like even their socks or snacks might betray them. And
honestly, that's not far from the truth, because as scanners become more sensitive, they're picking up more anomalies. And when I say anomalies, I mean things like tightly packed cables, rolled underwear, dense bars of soap, tool-shaped toys, aluminum deodorant cans, essential oil bottles, certain cameras, dental cement, weird battery packs, vape devices, and even shoes with air pockets that confuse the algorithm. And because all this tech is constantly evolving, airports aren't telling the public exactly what triggers alerts, partly to keep security unpredictable, and partly because even the agencies themselves are figuring out how the new scanners behave in the real world. And that unpredictability makes travelers feel like the rules are changing without warning. But honestly, that's kinda true, because the scanners are learning and updating them and comparing data from millions of passengers. And sometimes harmless things suddenly get flagged simply because the system found a new pattern somewhere else in the world. And travelers will keep getting surprised, like the guy whose hair wax triggered a pat-down, or the lady whose handmade soap bar looked exactly like an explosive block on the density spectrum, or the student whose laptop keyboard looked hollow on the 3D map, or the tourist whose water bottle cap got pulled because the machine didn't recognize the plastic density. And these stories sound funny, but they're real, and they're becoming more common. So if you ever feel that moment of panic walking through a scanner, just know the machine isn't just checking your pockets, it's analyzing your entire presence. And the things it flags are often everyday stuff you never imagined could get you pulled aside. And that's why in 2026, airport scanners are now more unpredictable than ever. They flag sweat, snacks, to skincare, fabric, tools, moisture, batteries, powders, dense clothing, unexpected heat signatures, and even normal movements. And all of this is happening while airports still struggle to upgrade old machines, creating a weird global patchwork of security levels where your bag might pass through effortlessly in one country, but cause a full inspection in another. And it leaves you wondering what the scanners will detect next year or the year after. Because honestly, at this pace, airport security isn't just about catching threats anymore. It's about understanding that the machines now see the world completely differently than we do. And the more advanced they get, the more surprising the flagged items become. And in a strange way, that's exactly why travelers feel like something random in their bags might betray them. Because in 2026, the scanners aren't just scanning. They're thinking, learning, detecting, and sometimes guessing. And that's exactly why the most innocent item in your luggage might be the next thing that shines bright red on the officer screen.